Hi, I'm Mary Ellen. Today we're going to talk about breathing. We all breathe, so I'm not going to teach you how to breathe, but I am going to teach you how to consciously breathe, which is different. Conscious breathing is what we do for meditation. First, what I'm going to ask you to do is to get into your meditation posture, as we learned in the last lesson. On the edge of your seat, shoulders over your hips, feet flat on the floor, hands on the thighs. Comfortably erect with the level chin. Okay. Now, conscious breathing is belly breathing. We have lungs that are shaped a bit like pyramids, triangular kind of. And the large part is down, not up. We tend to say, when we take a deep breath, we fill up our chest. And that's not actually true. When we take a deep breath, we fill up our belly. So I want you to let go of all ideas that you need to have a thin belly. There's nobody looking, hopefully. So I'm going to ask you to be aware of your abdominal muscles and use them in this breathing. Belly breathing is a bit like having a balloon inside. Think of your lungs as a large balloon and fill the lung up. And as you fill it up, the belly should go out. And then as you empty that same balloon, the belly should go in. And you're going to use your abdominal muscles to do this, so that when you're breathing in, you're going to totally relax those abdominal muscles and let the belly expand and then let the chest expand. And when you're breathing out, you're going to contract those abdominal muscles, pulling them toward your spine. Now, the very first time you do that, you're going to pull them toward your spine until you really think you don't have any more air left. And then you're going to let your chest go down and get rid of all the air in your lungs. This is because we hold residual air in our lungs. Old air we really don't need. It's got old gases and used body products and disgusting yuck stuff, right? So we don't want that in there. And who knows, when we do this, we may also be letting go of old feelings, old experiences, things that we don't need to be holding either. Old grudges and angers. Think of it as a metaphor. So, as you breathe in, let those belly muscles just relax. Breathe fully in, deeply and slowly. And when you have taken in as much air as you feel that you can, then begin to contract those abdominal muscles inward, pushing the air out. And then letting your rib cage fall and your chest fall so that you are totally getting rid of all air. And then let it all happen again, where the muscles in the abdomen relax and allow the belly to expand as you breathe in. Slowly, 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 back and forth. If you've ever watched a baby breathe, this is exactly how they breathe. You can see this process if you watch a baby breathe. A sitting up baby is an easy way to see it. This is a conscious breath. It's a full breath. Different people, different practitioners, different teachers have called it different things. Different cultures talk about breath in different ways, but most cultures talk about it as an almost sacred thing, because it is essential for life. In the East, some call it prana. If you've done yoga, you've heard that word. In the Bible, it talks about God breathing life into Adam. In almost all cultures, the ancient cultures, the words for breath and spirit are one word. In Hebrew, that would be ruach. And you talk in the Bible again about the Spirit moving across the waters. Or you read, you don't talk. You read that in the Bible. And that is the same as breath moving across the waters. So there is something about breath that allows life, or perhaps engenders life. It's hard to say. We don't know those things, but that's okay. We don't have to know that in order to do conscious breathing, in order to take in as much prana as we can, and then to let it go again. One of the things that people do is called hyperventilating. Hyperventilating is a process of breathing only in your chest. And in your chest, you can only take in and let go of a teacup of air. That's not very much air when you think about the fact that the whole lung can take like 4 liters or so, some people more. So this is quite a huge difference. That hyperventilating is really a very poor use of the lungs, and obviously it causes people to black out, so it's not a good thing. But it happens when we become anxious, and anxiety tends to cause us to breathe more shallowly. So one of the ways that I teach my clients to fight anxiety or to deal with anxiety and let it flow through them and out of them is to do very deep breathing, like this, belly breathing. It's a good practice for anybody who has an anxiety problem. And in this day and age, most of us do. But that's another topic completely. We are working to help those of us in this day and age not deal with life in the normal ways. By doing conscious breathing, you're choosing to deal with life differently. That's a big step. If you're having trouble with this, and some people do, for some people this is counterintuitive. They think that when they breathe in, their belly ought to go in, and when they breathe out, their belly ought to go out. So if you're having that problem, one of the things you can try is lying down on the floor and putting a book or a cell phone on your belly. And then as you breathe in, you're making it rise. As you breathe out, you're letting it fall. And that gives you a visual and a physical way of measuring whether you're doing this correctly or not. Because this is essential. If we're going to make our lives fuller, then we're going to have to make our breathing fuller. There's no 2 ways about it. And there isn't another way to do this. This is meditation breathing. Also, one thing that I want to be clear that you understand in this particular form of meditation, heart rhythm meditation, our breathing is very subtle. We don't work at it. It isn't something where you can hear the breath. I know there are different kinds of yogas where they breathe and they want to hear the breath. We don't want to hear any sound at all when we move our breath. We want it to be as subtle and natural a process as can be. The only difference is that we want it to be conscious and we want it to be full. So that's why we use the belly in our breathing, to help us make it full. And when we're meditating, one of the things that helps us control our mind is to focus on the posture, the breathing, and the heartbeat. In our next lesson, I'll tell you about the heartbeat and help you with that part of this process. But those are the 3 things that take the focus of our mind in heart rhythm meditation. And this is very important because one of the things we're doing is learning to focus our minds, not allowing them to wander off willy-nilly wherever they think they want to be today. Because our minds will do that. As we're sitting here, quote, doing nothing, our minds want to think about what we're going to do next, or what we did last, or what we need to do tomorrow, or and that's useless, totally useless, because one of the things that we do is we live somewhere else when we do that. There isn't anywhere else to live. We live here. We live in this moment. We live now. Here and now. We can't be somewhere else and sometime else. So we want to focus here. We want to be effective here. We want to be in control and masters of our lives here, in this time, in this place. Not yesterday, not tomorrow. So focus on the breathing. Continue to practice your posture and focus on your breathing. And in the next lesson, I'll talk to you about the heartbeat. Thanks for joining me.